I'll tell you something, folks, it's been a busy brew day today, but the fun doesn't stop. And that's because I've got another experiment in home brewing. Yep, right now I'm going to attempt to make an alcoholic, or as the Americans would say, hard cream soda. Let's have a look at those ingredients. Well, it doesn't get much simpler than this. I've got 4 litres of cream soda, 2 from Sainsbury's, 2 from Aldi. I've got 500 grams of brewing sugar, because this cream soda contains no added sugar. I'm using a yeast nutrient from Young's. And my yeast of choice today, well, I don't really know what it is, but it does seem to be working in one of my turbo ciders. I ordered some 71B online from eBay, or from an eBay seller, and I got something from Angel Yeast in China about 3 weeks later. I've got no idea what sort it is, but it does say at the top somewhere, Saccharomyces cerevisiae, you know, so that's basically something to do with beer yeast, I think. But it was meant to be wine yeast. I'm just going to use this and let's see what happens. So this recipe couldn't really be a lot more simple, because all I'm going to do is add 4 litres of cream soda into this big pan, as so. Oh, it's lovely, that smell. Reminds me of childhood. Pot van. When I were a lad, there used to be a pot wagon came round and delivered pop to your street, as we called it in Barnsley. Pop. Not soda, like you Americans. So that's my first 2 litres in. And I've now got a 3rd litre going in. And finally, the 4th litre going in. Now, just as I'm pouring this in there, have you subscribed to my YouTube page yet? www.mosshomeandgarden.co.uk. Hit the red subscribe button, press the bell, make me happy. Right, that's all my cream soda in the pan, and it's all frothy. Let's have a look. There it is. So what I'm going to do now is turn the gas on, and ignition. Boom. Scary. Right, I'm going to turn this right down, and I want this to gently come to a simmer, but I don't want it to rush. Now, I don't want it to rush because I don't want it to burn. I don't want any caramelised flavours in there. I just want it to be as it is. And the reason why I'm going to let it boil is that it's got preservative potassium sorbate in it, and that might impede fermentation. Now, there is a school of thought that says if you boil it, it nullifies that conservative. I don't actually know if the science behind that is true, but I'm going to do it anyway. Okay, so this will take a while to come to a simmer. Once it's started to simmer, we'll have a little update. I'll catch you then. Right, let's have a look at that cream soda. It's lost its sparkle, that's for sure. That's what I wanted. I want to add a little bit more heat now. I want to see some bubbles, but not the sparkling kind, the boiling kind. Okay, I put a lid on to keep the heat in. Let's just have a look. No bubbles yet. We'll wait. Right, let's have another look. Oh yes, that's boiling away just nicely. So while that's boiling away, I'm just going to add the brew sugar into it. That'll dissolve in no time at all. And then I'm going to put the lid back on and leave it for another 5 minutes. Okay, you can't really see much, but trust me, the brew sugar has melted. That's still simmering. I'm going to put the lid back on and I'm turning the heat off. And I now need this to cool down to room temperature. It's going to take some hours. I might even leave it overnight. We'll see. I've got to get on with dinner. We're having a salmon curry. So I'll catch you either tonight or tomorrow, where we'll put this all together into the demijohn and make the brew. See you then, folks. Good morning from the kitchen, folks. It's the next day and it's now time to start putting this brew together. I'm going to begin by adding a heaped teaspoonful of yeast nutrient into my funnel. And now I'm going to pour in my cream soda. It absolutely still smells of cream soda. It's a very delicious smell actually. And a very sweet smell. Okay, so my demijohn is 4/5 of the way full, but I want it to be fuller, so I'm going to top this up with spring water. So just bog standard shop bought spring water, and I'm using this rather than tap water because the tap water in Leeds where I live is a little bit chlorine-y and it has spoiled my brews in the past. Okay, now I've overfilled this, and I don't mind overfilling it. I've got to take 100ml out to take the original gravity. But I'm also aware that this will not build a huge krausen because there's no fruit matter in there. So I'm not expecting it to really flood out of the airlock. What I do need to do now is to give this a nice little shake and stir around because I want all that liquid to mix. I need to take the original gravity, so into the tube this goes. So I've sacrificed just over 100ml. And that means there's a little bit more space now in the top for the krausen. Moment of truth. And this is going to finish quite nicely for me. I'm not going for something which is hugely strong today. I'm looking for something quite moderate, probably 5–6% or thereabouts. And I think that's what I'm probably going to get. It's finished on 1.044. 1044. So I'll just have a little sample. I'm expecting it to taste just like cream soda, but even sweeter because of the brew sugar that went in there. And that's exactly what it tastes like. I couldn't have described it any better. Slightly too sweet at the minute for me, but after fermentation, I think this might be okay. So this is pretty much a huge brew experiment. I mean, I'm basically making what is essentially a hard seltzer, but just from bottled pop, soda pop. Now, if this works, this opens up a whole new avenue of possibilities in terms of brews to do. Coca-Cola, Lilt, anything that's fizzy, bring it to the boil, nullify the preservatives, add a bit more sugar, chuck some yeast in, Bob's your uncle. I'm now going to add my yeast, my unknown yeast from China, which is hopefully a 71B equivalent. I'm just going to tip this in by hand. I'm aiming to do what I would consider to be a nice rounded teaspoonful. So I'm just going to let that sit on top for a minute before I agitate it. Right, I'm just going to give this a bit of agitation now, get any bits of yeast that are stuck to the side of the demijohn off. It's all come off quite nicely. I think this is going to go all right. Right, airlock in. So the next update that you get from me will be when fermentation begins, hopefully later today. Catch you then, folks. Well, just a cream soda update. It's a good 14 hours later, but at last we have some movement. Fermentation has begun. We've got a ring of krausen just starting around the edge, and yet the airlock is going very, very slowly. So the second day of fermentation, krausen ring has developed a little bit further, but bubbling is now nice and steady in the airlock. All good. Good morning from the red hot kitchen, folks. It's going to be 42 degrees outside later. It's 9:45 in the morning, it's already 30. I'm roasting. I need to get through this quickly because it is cream soda, seltzer, bottling day. and I don't want to mess about. Let's have a look at it. So here it is. It's been in the demijohn for 6 weeks. It has pretty much cleared. There's a slight amount of haziness, but I'm happy enough with that. And today I want to get it out of there and into these bottles. I'm hoping to get 6 750ml bottles, but if I don't, then I do have a smaller bottle in reserve if I can't quite stretch that far. In each of the 750ml bottles, I'm going to put this much sugar. This is normal household caster sugar, and it's what I'm calling priming sugar, because this will prime the bottles that will make my seltzer sparkle. The tiny bit of yeast which is left in suspension in there will find this sugar, it will smash it apart, it will create a very fractional fermentation, a tiny one, and that will release CO2, which will build up pressure and give my seltzer a sparkle. So then it's bung out of the demijohn, siphoning tube goes in, it's held steady with this nice clip just here, which is really useful. The bottom of the tube is just into the sediment line, but that doesn't matter because the first bit that comes out, if it's a bit sediment heavy, it's fine, it's going in the hydrometer flask. Let's just get on with it. And yeah, it's a little bit milky to begin with, but it's already cleared up. And that's just fine. It's got a strange smell, almost like a vodka-y smell. Not what I was expecting. Right, first bottle done, bash. So the first bottle has been filled up. I'm going to get the first bung in. I've had them softening in very hot water, these bungs, to make them malleable. Second bottle done. Second bung in. Yeah, it's coming through fast and furious. Third bottle is just about done, and we're into the fourth bottle. And into the next bottle. Yeah, there's definitely a bit of early reaction to that sugar. I think I'm going to get 6 bottles out of this. It's looking like pretty good actually. Okay, so this is bottle number 5. Ooh, it's going to be touch and go. It's going to be a close call. Right, so there's bubbles in the siphoning tube. It's a close call. This is the situation so far. Okay, I'm not going to get it into this one, but I think if I empty the hydrometer tube into that, that might fill the bottle up. So let's take the final gravity. And I finished on a final gravity of 0.996, which is pretty excellent. So I need to work out the alcohol by volume for this brew. In order to do that, I take the original gravity, which was 1.044. I deduct from that the final gravity, which is 0.996. This equals 0.048. And then I multiply this by 131.25, which gives me a final alcohol by volume of 6.3%, and that's kind of what I was aiming for. So I've managed to fill my 6th bottle up, so I'm happy with that. Now time to get cages on the bottles. So the cage is an essential safety feature which will hold the bung in place, because when that fermentation takes place in the bottle, that tiny fractional fermentation, when CO2 is created and pressure builds up, that bung will become a missile without a cage to hold it in place. Et voila, bunged and caged. You don't need to watch me do that another 5 times. I'll be back in a sec. Okay, I'm just going to give these bottles a little hose down, just to get any sticky residue from the outsides, because the next stage will be to label them. So I've got my bottle labels made up in a simple Microsoft Word template. Let's get these printed off. Right, let's get the labels on the bottles. So it's just nice to make your bottles look nice. obviously good to know what you're drinking. And there they are. So greetings from the living room. This is where my cream soda seltzer will condition for the next month. Here it is. It's on top of my drinks cabinet and it will stay up here, and I don't need to put any extra heat source on it because it's just warm enough. But besides that, inside the cabinet there is a light that comes on every evening and it does warm the entire top of the cabinet right up. But the living room is south facing on a conservatory, which is like a greenhouse, and trust me, it's very, very, very warm. So I'll be back in a month's time when it comes to opening and tasting. Catch you then. Good evening from the kitchen, folks. It's my cream soda hard seltzer grand opening night. And if you're just watching this now and I'm giving you this preamble, then the previous bit of film that I've just done has gone kaput. My GoPro just shut down and I don't know if it'll let me retrieve the file or not. That sometimes happens. So I've just opened the cream soda hard seltzer, 6.3%, and you know what? I'd forgotten all about it. It's been in the bottle for 3 months. It's as clear as a whistle, absolutely clear, looks great. Not massive on the bubble front, but there are some bubbles there, you can see. But I'm going to tell you now, it stinks. It smells like, almost like, I don't know, petrolly or chemically. It's got a very pungent odour to it, which is putting me off slightly drinking it. But I better give it a whirl, hadn't I? Oh my God, that's sweet. I mean, that is, oh God. It tastes like, it does taste like cream soda, but like it's got tons of artificial sweetener in it and then really cheap, nasty vodka. It's not the best thing I've ever brewed. I'm going to be quite honest with you. It's nice and clear, but I don't think this one's a winner. I don't even know if I can finish this bottle off, even that glass. Now, if you like really, really sweet drinks, and if you like cream soda, then you might like this brew, but I'm a dry drinks person mostly when it comes to the clear drinks like wine and cider. Yeah, I'm not massively keen on this one. I need to be 100% honest with you. So I think this might be one that's going in the good old air still, because yeah, can I get through 5 bottles of this? And if I can get through 1 bottle of it. Anyway, cheers folks. I'll catch you on the next brew, whatever that may be. The film that you've just watched is a Moss Home and Garden production. You can find more by going to www.mosshomeandgarden.co.uk. I'd just like to say thank you very much for supporting my YouTube channel and for watching my films. It really is very much appreciated. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to my YouTube channel in order to receive future updates about the home and garden films which I upload. You can find my YouTube channel by going to www.mosshomeandgarden.co.uk. Please click on the red subscribe button. When you've done that, a little bell will appear. If you press that also, then you'll get future updates about the films which I upload. If you like my films, if you like my style of filming, then you might also like my travel channel, which you will find by going to youtube.com/Stuart Moss or type in www.mosstravel.tv. Again, if you could subscribe to that channel, it would be hugely appreciated. If you'd like to get Moss Home and Garden updates on Facebook, then please open Facebook and do a search for Moss Home and Garden, and you will find the page. If you like the page, then you will get future updates on there. And if you'd like to connect on Instagram for home, garden and travel photography, as well as some stories, then my username is StuMoss, STUMOSS. If you'd like to connect on Twitter, then my username is @StuartMoss. And if you'd like to contact me about film usage or any other issue, please just email me on stewmosshomegarden@gmail.com. Once again, thank you very much for supporting my channel, for watching my films. I do appreciate it. I'd just like you all to have a great day.